Two of the preseason favorites go head-to-head in game number 1. It's the defending champion Sturt Falcons versus West Torrens. They were top of the table last year. The top two teams right to the bitter end. And that's how we start. Eric Ballner in the commentary booth, joined by James Harris and Lee Hull. Gentlemen, I mean, this is the matchup that everybody kind of wants all throughout the season, isn't it?
The two big teams of the competition going head-to-head in round 1. We know the Hills Heat were grand finalists last year, but these two topped the table last year. And head-to-head, they were pretty close as well. So we're going to see action from the first pitch, I'm going to say.
We are, but there's a couple of interesting player moves here. Tash Straps has come over from Port Adelaide, play first base for Sturt, which allows Bell White to go out the shortstop, which will be a double plus. And for West Torrens, Amber Hood comes in from the Hills, playing at shortstop. Also, Sturt have lost 2 players only. They are Zali Adams to college and also
Jesse
Keach to college. So it'll be interesting. There's been a lot of changes this year. I think 11 people have gone from one club to the other.
2 of the best players in the competition. Nate, the country, get to go head-to-head today. Steph Trzynski, the reigning Calf Coral medalist. She's got dynamite numbers in the circle. We'll get to those when she's throwing. And Belle White, you'll see her at short. She caught for Team Australia during the 2020 Olympics that happened in 2021 in this COVID-crazy world. There's a look at Millie Fidge in the circle. She was a platoon that went back-to-back years with Zolly Adams. Now Millie Fidge has to transition from platoon to ace. She will have some support, but those numbers pretty strong, aren't they?
Yeah, that's so good for someone who's only just turned 18 years of age, and she'll shoulder the load this year, and they'll look to another youngster from the club, Poppy Carmen, as their number 2. But have a look at those numbers for Millie Fidge. She really did start the season as their starter last year, and then it sort of went over to Zali Adams. Their numbers are so similar, so they're a great 1-2 punch. She'll do just fine this year. She'll
big
be
strong
great.
girl, Millie, isn't she, for a young person? And not only can she pitch, she can play position, she can hit the ball hard.
Not a lot of walks allowed around the diamond. Maddie Ashby, Maddie Cameron, Indigo, Beck De Silva in the outfield. Neve Adams, Belle White, as you mentioned, Lee Hull at shortstop, Rachel Tonkin at second, and Tash Straps, who made the move from Port Adelaide at first base. Sarah Tonkin is the catcher, and Sarah Tonkin has solidified herself as one of the game's best catchers in the competition, certainly in South Australia, and now on a run of form of making some teams of the year.
Yeah, absolute solid behind the plate, and they've got a couple of choices at catcher as well, with Neve Adams over at third base as well. But you mentioned Sarah Tonkin. Over the last 3 years we were collecting data, 284 batting average, but she just sits in the shadows a little bit, don't you think, of Belle and Maddie? But she is a superstar of this game.
Leading off the game on your screen, Amber Hood. She's made the move over from Hills, who were in the grand final last year. She'll take her spot at the top of the lineup for West Torrens. Millie Fidge ready with the first pitch, and Amber Hood, the walk machine, watches that inside.
Yeah, probably the biggest acquisition of the off-season, Amber Hood, coming from the Hills Heat, 15 walks last year, and she just finds a way to get on base. 533 on base average last year, a 350 batting average, and she just slots in there nicely, doesn't she? A great replacement for Faith Picard and Cara Schultz, the two big outs for the Eagles.
Cara's gone to college, and Faith's just having a break for a while.
And the Eagles presenting a little bit of a different look for the last many years. It's been Jordan Harris that has led things off for the Eagles. She slots down 5th in the lineup. It's Hood, Beal, Kaesler, Trzynski, Harris, Hoyle, Nucky, Allen, and Fuse. That is a tough lineup. And Amber Hood, known for jagging a walk with that 500 on base percentage, starts her West Torrens career doing exactly that.
You could have written that up before the game started, but maybe a little nervous start for Millie. Or she's just trying to work out that pitching play. It gets a bit tricky. Third game of the day on that plate. A lot of pitching gets trashes that pitching plate area. So just that landing foot, she's just got to get into the rhythm, and I think we'll be fine after this. We'll see a very competitive Millie Fidge for the remainder of the game.
Jackie Beal has moved up the lineup. She's batting second. She batted ninth all season last year for West Torrens. Often in baseball and softball, they call that ninth position the second leadoff spot, and she did that job as well as anybody, if not better, in the competition.
326 batting average, was third in the club's batting average last year.
And that's why she's moved up. It's a bunt and a nice grab from Neve Adams, who zips it to Tash Straps at first. It's a double play.
Leading teams replay, have a look at this one. Jackie Beal doesn't do too much wrong, but she's right there for the play, Neve Adams. A sharp chance, and Amber Hood was 3/4 of the way to second before she realised that she was in strife. Reverse angle. Easily out.
Lana Kaesler. This is a fun player to watch, Lana Kaesler. If you're watching your first game of South Australian softball, highlight reel machine, infectious attitude, and a commentary star we have recently learned. Looking forward to calling a couple games with her this year.
Off the end of the bat, Adams in the play again in the hot corner. Fires it across to Straps for the third out. A quick innings.
Neve Adams, highlights again. Every time we call a game, Neve Adams seems to do something special. She took that great catch that ended up being the play of the year last year. The play on the bunt, the play across the diamond. Neve Adams doing it well. Well, we'll start with Sturt's batting lineup, and then we'll get to their defense because there is one player in particular we need to watch. Sarah Tonkin, Rachel Tonkin lead things off. Tonkin, we've talked about her at the beginning of the broadcast. Then Belle White, the Olympian, batting 3. Maddie Cameron had one of the most ridiculous offensive seasons we've ever seen, batting in 4, followed by Millie Fidge, Neve Adams, then Tash Straps, a handy person to slot back in at 7, Maddie Ashby at 8, and Indigo Beck de Silva, who was the Rookie of the Year last year and put together an average of over 300 in that second leadoff spot at number 9. Defensively, Kaesler, Hood, Hoyle, Nucky, Allen catching, outfield, Harris, Beal, and Fuse. But let's talk about the woman in the circle, Steph Trzynski. She's going against the back-to-back champions lineup, and Steph Trzynski has put out some numbers that look fake on your screen. That's not a typo.
Yeah, the Cath Coral medalist, you can see the reason why she polled a lot of votes. The offensive side of things is another story, which we'll get to next inning, but only 12 hits in those 42 innings, which gives a batting average against of 0.086. Ridiculous ERA number of 0.19.
And it's 0.19 because she allowed one. We'll say it again. 1 earned run in 41 2/3 innings.
Absolutely sensational. Now, I'll give you another stat. The batting average against Sturt last year, 0, because she did not pitch against them. In the 5 minor round games, it took to the qualifying final before they saw her, and it was a 3-2 win from the Falcons over West Torrens Eagles in extra innings. It took to the 8th inning to break the deadlock, and so, you know, you don't want to say that any numbers are inflated at all, but she didn't get to face the best offensive team, and the best offensive team didn't get to face the best defensive
Yeah, that's
pitcher.
true. It's funny how they do that, and this is what coaches do. They try to hide their best pitcher from you until we get the finals. Well, I'm not quite sure it worked in this case last season, but I can tell you one thing, Sturt with their batting lineup, they bat deep too, and they'll come after Steph.
Sturt have won the last 2 premierships, one as minor premiers in the COVID-shortened season, or the finals canceled season. Last year, they won it. They were the minor premiers. They surged out to a huge lead at the start of the year, and West Torrens, who started off the season 1-5, clawed their way back, had it tied at one point, and ended up losing just by 2 points in the minor rounds. But there's not much between these two teams. On paper, you'd figure that they would be in pole position to do it again. And Sarah Tonkin picks up where she left off. She's aboard with a single, so just 12 hits allowed all last season for Steph Trzynski. 1 batter faced, 1 hit allowed.
Well, she's not going to want us to talk about her for the rest of the season, as Sarah Tonkin just kicks off the 21-22 season in style. A great shot getting past that safe glove of Lana Kaysler.
Looked like Lana played in the field a bit more for that particular pitch to me, because it got past Lana very quickly, and that's a very hard thing to do.
Rachel Tonkin, the batswoman. Now, we talked in between games, James, about the role of Rachel Tonkin. As far as number 2 hitters go, you think that she just does her job tremendously.
Yeah, she just gets the ball into play. She doesn't get a lot of walks, but she gets even less strikeouts as well. So she does her job as the 2 hitter, putting the ball into play and making the defense come up with a play, whether it's the lead runner on a fielder's choice or to get that sacrifice out.
See where Lana's set up? She knows she's expecting the bunt to come, but she's playing in the field a bit.
Kaysler over at third, pinching in, as Lee Hole pointing out. There's a look at Steph Trzynski. It's a 2-1 count. Rachel Tonkin trying to put some immediate pressure on this West Torrens defense. Trzynski delivers right through. Her sister Sarah has to scamper back to first base.
The defense just have to be aware of this. 2-1 count. Next pitch she's going to bunt. She's going to try and bunt. She did, but unsuccessful. They were onto it. Got to stay alive in the infield, know what the count is.
Trzynski gets her first strikeout victim. She has a very high strikeout ratio. And she gets number 1 with Rachel Tonkin going down.
Yeah, and I think you can be too fancy with the bunts. You can be, try to get a little bit of angle on it. Your job's to put Sarah, your sister, on the second base.
Belinda White, the Olympian, the only South Australian representative on that Olympic team that was just at the Tokyo Olympics.
Didn't she catch well when she came in game 4, I think it was? Terrific to watch.
The 8th South Australian to be a softball Olympian. We've had 3 umpires, a team manager, and 4 players.
Right to Kaysler. Kaysler was trying to get a double up as well. Easy taking for Lana Kaysler.
It's been the hot corner in this game already. Plenty of plays going to third base, and Kaysler, geez, they're tricky, aren't they? The ones that don't come off quite as hard as you'd expect. And Belle White will go on to first base as the courtesy runner for Sarah Tonkin. Just jammed up a little there. That's uncharacteristic of Belle White. We see her smash inside pitches. They mostly go foul, but...
Maddie Cameron, nearly the Kath Coral medalist last year. What a season she had.
You said it at the top of the game, as plus 600 batting average, a plus 700 on-base average, and just missed out on the Kath Coral by a single vote. For a centre fielder, for an outfielder, that is an effort.
Such a consistent player, isn't she?
Those 700 averages, basically your percentages of how many times you get on base. In softball, baseball, in this competition, you want to be above that 300 mark, 30% getting a hit in your terms at bat. Maddie Cameron doubled that. She went 60% last season and 70% of the time getting on base. 300, 400, if that's the benchmark, Maddie Cameron set a whole new standard.
11 extra base hits, 19 RBIs, 18 walks, 5 intentional walks, so 23 walks in total for how many strikeouts? 1.
Unbelievable numbers. These are 2 video game numbers going head-to-head in Steph Trzynski and Maddie Cameron right now. Something has to give. Both statistically likely to win the battle, but that just can't happen. Trzynski, one outside, tried to get Cameron to chase. Trzynski locked in, 1-2 count.
She's got great power. The outfield's in too shallow for me.
101 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's for a battle like her. Phew. Jackie Bill's in the right spot.
I've tried to call her a few times that she pulls a lot of the balls, and every time she does, she seems to hit one right side. So Mary's in a bit shallow at right for me.
Correction, Jordan's in the right spot. I thought it was Jackie out there. Not used to seeing Geordie out there. But Mary Fuss's here. I've seen Maddie go deep right field. One bounce into the fence. Whether Steph will let her have that pitch, though, is the thing.
2 balls, 2 strikes, in a good battle between 2 players that have represented Team Australia before in Trzynski and Cameron. Cameron scoops it down low. Harris tracking back. It's over her head. Maddie Cameron starts the season off with a hit and an RBI, and the Falcons strike first.
Over the head of Harris. She's quick as she tried to track that ball, and it's gone over her head. So the nightmares flashing back to the final series for the Eagles there on that occasion. But it was Cameron on the leading team's replay who drove it hard in a half swing. And the first run of the game.
Maddie's back.
Well, she's kicked off where she left off last season, but I'll give you an interesting stat. Out of her 28 hits, she went hitless in the first game of the season last year.
Unbelievable, Maddie Cameron. And there she was, stayed on the ball on the leading team's replay. And Cameron has some pretty, well, not so sneaky speed. Belle White scored on behalf of Sarah Tonkin. Millie Fidge behind 1 ball, 2 strikes. So it took exactly 1 inning to match Steph Trzynski's earned runs from last season with 1.
Yeah, and 2 hits. Maddie Cameron, you said sneaky speed, 9 stolen bases over the course of the last couple of years. Only 1 last year. So all those extra base hits, they reduce the amount of stolen bases, or attempts at least. Good pitch from
Sturt walking off.
Yep. Thought she'd caught the bottom of the zone. Millie Fidge a little taller than most of the players on this lineup.
Doing a Laura Bond on us. Laura Bond used to do that a lot, halfway to the bench when the umpire called her back.
Kaesler makes the out, but the Falcons strike first. Maddie Cameron, one of the stars of the game, an RBI double. And after 1 inning, Sturt lead West Torrens 1-0.
4 out of the 5 hits went to the left side of the diamond. Interesting. It's probably why Mary Fuss was playing in close, because she was aware that it wasn't coming out there. It's an interesting stat, I think. So Steph obviously trying to crowd the batters up by my reckoning on that.
Well, pace check on Steph Trzynski, just consistently in that low 100s in terms of kilometers per hour on the radar gun. Anything between 101 and 105 is what was tracked. She'll lead things off in the top part of the second inning. Steph Trzynski, Jordan Harris, Sophie Hoyle due up. 3 tremendous bats. That could be the top of that's one of the scariest parts of any lineup anywhere in the competition.
Yes, and you've touched on it. When you're batting Hoyle, Nucky and Allen at 6, 7 and 8, tells you something about the strength of this side, hitting-wise.
For as much as we talked about Steph Trzynski as a pitcher, it was probably her hitting that put her over the line in terms of winning the Calf Coral medal last season.
You look at some of the pitchers that are in this Premier League, and look how good a hitters they are. Georgia Hood, Yo Grauer, Steph Trzynski,
Millie Fidge. So Steph Trzynski steps in, trying to build off her fantastic year at the plate last year. She had a very nice summer, or I keep calling it summer plan, fully loaded competition. First pitch swing, back towards center field. Tracking back is Maddie Cameron, and it's a first pitch quick out for Sturt.
Paying a lot of respect to Trzynski with power. Was Cameron fielding fairly deep. You normally see her playing an attacking role on the leading team's replay as this ball heads out to the leading team sign on the home run fence. Read it pretty well and caught it comfortably.
It went a distance for a first pitch swing.
Jordan Harris up to bat, another player that was over in the United States on that Australian select team, we call it. The pro team in the
Pro League team. 2 years in the Pro League. She debuted for the Aussie Spirit at the US World Cup of Softball going back a few years ago now, and backed that up with Canada Cups, and she's played a Japan Cup as well.
Very decorated player. So Millie Fidge will have her work to do.
Pitching very carefully to Geordie, isn't she, already?
That one clocking in at 96 kilometers an hour to give you the difference between Fidge and Trzynski.
As you'd expect, a young player, her speed has developed quite well over the last couple of years, and I could only see it getting quicker as well as she starts to reach her 20s, and you know, hopefully throughout her 20s she continues to build that pace. Sky's the limit for her. I remember Kim Reeder reaching about 115 k's an hour for Seacombe a couple of years back. I don't think we've seen anyone as quick since. Jessie Dresick was 110s.
Gee, Kim was quick, wasn't she? Strong girl, Kim Reeder.
Yeah. Unfortunately, did her knee in her last game that she played, and she's fought back from a knee reconstruction and only to have another. So
terrible luck.
Harris has a good crack. 2-1 count.
Was that last one a foul as well? So 2-2?
2-2 count.
Fouled into the mask of Tonkin. She's okay. We saw one of those in the early game. In the Port game, Jess Maslin wore one in their emphatic 13-3 win over the Cats.
Magnets today. Works a walk. Harris is aboard. It's the second base runner, both by virtue of walks. Amber Hood opened the game with a walk, but was thrown out on a double play on a heads-up effort from Neve Adams at third. Sophie Hoyle, she's got some pop, she's got some power. Last year, she was sort of sitting in that fourth spot in the batting lineup, shifted down to sixth this year. It adds a whole new dynamic to the Eagles.
Hit the ball hard in that final, preliminary final, wasn't it?
She got better as the season went on last year.
She ripped the ball into the fence at right field, I reckon, a couple of times.
Third season at West Torrens, Sophie Hoyle. Just like Steph Trzynski, both were members of Glenelg.
Another player that walks a lot, Sophie Hoyle.
That's because the pitchers pitch carefully to him, I think, James.
Because she's got a great reputation of hitting a long ball.
Yep. Pitchers will tend to do that. You come in with a reputation, they're not going to feed you what stuff that you like.
Although only 4 walks last year, has 36 walks over the last 3 seasons. So probably only second to Amber Hood in the competition. Yeah, 47 for Amber.
Very consistent performer, Sophie Hoyle. Over the last, certainly half decade and a little beyond. No matter what club she plays for.
I remember calling a game, saying that she's waiting for one in her wheelhouse, and then she hit one long into the dog club that sits right behind us here at West Beach. German Shepherd Dog Club in the background of left field.
Works the count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Speedy Jordan Harris, sorry.
That's a fine.
That's a fine.
Eric.
We're in year 2 now.
Not happy with that one, Hoyle, as she shakes her head as the helmet comes off on the follow through. She fouls that one off. She is still alive in the count, so maybe she thought that one was there for the taking.
Need to keep the ball down here, Millie. Ground out. Look for the double. Jordan's got wheels.
Very solid infield. This Falcons infield.
That's it.
Reaches that one. Goes through Bell White. 2 runners aboard.
That was the right pitch, though.
Yeah, great shot from Hoyle to find a gap in the field. White won't be happy with this as we watch the leading team's replay. Another player who goes to the backhand side high, only to move down on the ball when they should be staying low. She probably thinks she knows better, and 2 runners aboard for the Eagles here in the second inning.
Maddie Cameron had that single RBI double to make it a 1-0 game, and West Torrens trying to strike right back. Kelsey Nucky up to bat.
I'm looking at the score sheets next to me. I see one written an error, one written a hit. So having a look over at the scorers tables,
I gave it a hit to 6 through 6 to.
It is a hit. So
yeah.
Scored as a hit.
You just can't read my writing, James, and neither can I. So that's okay. You're forgiven.
So the first hit of the game for the Eagles is to Hoyle as Kelsey Nucky goes up to bat and fouls that one into diamond 3 by the looks of things here at West Beach.
Whatever she does here, Nucky, she needs to hit the ball behind the runners. Hit the ball out to Rachel Tonkin.
Good block from Sarah Tonkin. Stops the ball trickling towards the backstop. These two teams you'd expect to go right at each other all game long. It'll be a tussle.
There'll be no let up.
Just like it was in the finals, a 3-2 extra innings win for Sturt. That put them right through to the grand final, and then West Torrens were shocked by Hills in the prelim. They went out in straight sets, West Torrens, and they had expectations of a premiership when they entered that final series. Nucky in a hitter's count. Foul. Just as you'd expect, West Torrens working counts early.
Needs to look to hit the right side of the diamond here, Kelsey. Can't afford to hit the ball to neither. It'll be a double play. And they'll be out of there.
Tempo's just really gone out of the game, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And Nucky strikes out looking.
Well, Nucky thought that was low, but she'll take the long walk back to the dugout as Hall of Fame umpire Neville Lawrence calls the strikeout. Yeah, I was just saying about the tempo of the game. Do you think this is a tactic from the Falcons? Is it West Torrens? Or is it the number of pitches that the Eagles have faced this inning, a lot of foul balls as well?
A bit of a combination of all those things, I think. Don't you reckon? I do. I think what Lana's got to do here, Carly, correction, is get ahead in the count and then play a hit and run. Because these runners aren't moving anywhere.
We saw non-stop action in the first game of this doubleheader.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's brought us back to the realisation that it's not going to be like that.
This one has more of a big game feel to it. Not that the other one wasn't a big game. Everything just feels a little bit more calculated, like it's a finals game, a finals appearance. Both teams would like to start this season off with the upper hand over each other because they'll be rivals throughout.
Allen.
This is where you could go hit and run here on the count.
2 runners on for Carly Allen.
Perfect pitch to hit it, wasn't it?
She's quite watchful early on in her at-bats, Carly Allen, as she's...
Yeah, but it was a 2-0 count. Millie's going to come back with a strike. She did. That's the one to pick off.
Went after that one, almost took off head coach Andrew Scott's head.
She's been a great contributor for the Eagles. Carly Allen coming back again this season, hit over 300 last year. And you have a look at the premierships, and we talked about Sturt's legacy. They're 4 in a row. That one's high and away, and gee, Lambert's in trouble here as this one's thrown out to centre field and then fumbled from Cameron as Harris arrives safely to third on a wild throw from Tonkin.
Fumble straight away, might have made it here.
Hoyle remains at third as that one did go towards second base as we look at the leading team's replay. I was just going to say that Sturt's 4 premierships in a row were only best by West Torrens in the 2000s. We can talk about Walkerville's legacy in a moment, but West Torrens played in 6 in a row. This lady in the box played a handful of those.
One of the few people that's ever hit Monica Perry for safe hits. I've seen her hit 2 safe hits off Monica Perry. Nobody else could say that.
Allen fouls that away. Another long at-bat. This is the 4th straight batter that has had exceptionally long at-bats for West Torrens in this turn.
Getting a good workout, Millie, isn't she?
Harris had the walk, Hoyle had the hit, Nucky a long battle that ended out in a strikeout.
And she's thrown a lot of different types of pitches too.
And Allen's going the distance as well. Millie Fidge trying to mix things up. Fidge delivers. Allen scooped it down. Andrew Scott tried to make a spectacular play, runs into the wall instead.
Unable to.
He's made a few spectacular plays in his day, I'm sure.
Yes. With his other hand, though. With his left hand, which had a glove on at the time. From my memory when he played, he was a terrific baseballer. Terrific baseballer.
Strikeout. Millie Fidge wins an epic tussle. She had 2 runners on with 1 out. Strikeout, strikeout. And Millie Fidge, the multiple-time premiership player, gets them out of a jam.
Yeah, great battle, and she had to throw a lot of pitches in that inning to just the 5 batters. It included a walk and a hit, and then she just ended the inning with 2 strikeouts, both on full counts, and gee, what a pitching performance she has already put on to start this game. 2 innings, she's thrown to 8 batters, and she looks pretty good.
Yeah, this game started at, what, 4? We were about half an hour into the game, and we're only at the middle of the second. Lots of at-bats and pitches faced from both. But due up here, the bottom of the lineup. Neve Adams, Tash Straps, Maddie Ashby, and Indigo Beck de Silva. Some intriguing players in this mix, too.
Yep, some great young talent coming at you. 3 out of the next 4 hitters in Adams, Ashby, and Beck de Silva. Tash Straps, still in her 20s. I mean, she's still a youngster as well, but she's been around for so long, I'd say a decade in this Premier League. She played as a youngster for the Seacombe Tigers. There was a premiership in there as well, Lee. And then she made the move over to the Falcons, Port Adelaide, now back to the Falcons. So you'd put her down as a veteran in this Falcons lineup when you look at the 3 of the next 4 batters up.
And being on some Stars teams.
Yep.
And plays women's baseball like a lot of the girls do. Combine both sports, and I see they're playing Sundays now.
They are.
Women's baseball, 4 o'clock tomorrow, I believe. Interesting time on a Sunday.
Neve Adams.
All the way to the back of the box, Neve Adams. It's, you probably see that more in the men's game. They're at the back of the box. In the women's game, they like to be pretty close to the plate, pretty far up the box, so they know they can compete with the speed. It's the movement that they want to beat. Neve Adams moves to the back of the box, and she looks quite comfortable there. She pulls that first pitch of Trzynski foul down the left side.
Normally you get up the front to stop the rise and the drop, get them earlier.
Check swing, pops straight up in the air. Sophie Hoyle gets the first out, retired safely.
Yeah, leading teams replay. We see Adams just get under it there. The head looks up to see how high that went, and Sophie Hoyle comfortably making the first out.
Tash Straps, her return to the Falcons. She's already been part of a double play at first base. Very reliable glove on that side of the diamond. Now she gets her first at bat back in the double blue. Chases at one that Trzynski just teased her with.
I think Tash was swinging at that one wherever it went.
And I think Steph knew
wide.
it.
High, wide, and not handsome.
Well, this one jams her right up. Nucky has to barehand it in the end and spoons it across to Hoyle for the second out. Geez, it really jammed her up. It probably even come off the very top of the handle. Let's have a look at the leading team's replay. And a double hit.
And off she goes. Maddie Ashby. Sturt seemed to pump out young talent after young talent.
Yeah, they do.
And then they pump out some more young talent, and Maddie Ashby certainly in that class that is looking to break through and emerge as that consistent.
Well, let me tell you why. Sturt Falcons, since the inaugural award for most successful junior club in 2007-8, has won the award every year bar one.
Who won it the other year?
Port Adelaide. And that was in the 1920 season. And then Sturt won it back last year.
Seems good.
Minimum of fuss with Steph, isn't it? Just goes about her business.
That one rode in at 102 kilometers an hour.
Gets on the pitching plate. Knows she's got them covered.
And a strikeout. Her second of the day. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Eagles. And through 2 innings, Sturt have a 1-0 lead in what's shaping up to be a great tussle. Two innings through, 1-0 lead. Maddie Cameron has the RBI double. That's the difference maker in this game. Both teams have faced 8 batters, the pitchers. Sturt more so has had to throw a few more pitches to get the outs. But a collective effort. Things sometimes change this second time through. Batters have a look at the pitcher for a second time of the day. And we're about to reach that point. Mary Fuse, Amber Hood, and Jackie Beal are due up.
Look, I'll go back to the last defensive inning. Steph Trzynski ending it with a strikeout, her second of the game, and through 8 batters. So that's probably below her average of about 1.5, 1 3/4 strikeouts an inning. But I tell you now, there's a reason for that, and that is that Sturt don't strike out very much. 54 strikeouts out of their 25 games for the season. So they only strike out maybe twice in a game, and that is fairly good batting considering the capability of some of our pitchers. Let's get back to the live action. Top of the 3rd inning, Mary Fuss to lead things off for the Eagles, hitting 9. Had a pretty good rookie season for the Eagles last year, was in contention for that Rookie of the Year award, a solid 200. Not bad for your A-grade debut season, 326 on base average. Watchful for the first 2 pitches of this inning.
Two walks so far on the day for Millie Fidge in the circle. She's got behind, but she's got herself back into it on multiple occasions, but she's in a big hole now, 3 balls and no strikes.
This would be a bonus for the Eagles if they can get a leadoff runner on base and turn it around to the top of the inning.
Yeah, take 2 pitches here, Mary. Take 2.
She only needs to take 1. Yep. 3rd walk of the day. Second time they've had a leadoff runner aboard.
That's just playing the percentages. She has to come back with 2 big strikes before you have to swing.
Well, Amber Hood has a runner on base. She walked in her first at-bat.
I think she'll bunt, maybe second pitch.
She had 2 sacrifice bunts last year, but she had 5 safe sacrifice bunt hits, or safe bunt hits.
She's
last
quick.
Season.
Yeah.
0-1 count. Swings at it. Maddie Cameron adjusts, makes the catch. It's one down for West Torrens.
Non-percentage play.
Well, I think she's got a different style coach this year in Andrew Scott. Scott Humphreys last year, and even you go back, for the last 2 years, and even back to Tanya Hood, they would have played that more traditional short game, knowing that they're down by a run with the leadoff runner on first, whereas Andrew Scott is about letting the players hit the runs in.
We've talked about this before, boys. It's
Jackie Beal. Nice play from Millie Fidge. 1. Can't get the second, but Fidge, quick hands off the comebacker, gets the lead runner. And Sturt's defense looking impressive early on.
Just getting back to that, this game will dictate when you need to play the percentage play. That was the time.
Interestingly, you saw the second base player, Rachel Tonkin, make that out at second base with a left-hand running bunt slap player up to bat. And that was because Belinda White was in. They played the left side in and the right side out.
Lana Kaesler steps up to the plate. She had a line shot to Neve Adams in her first at-bat. Jackie Beal, the new runner on first after the fielder's choice.
Yeah, if you were going to get an out, you'd want to. That's a good trade-off because Jackie Beal is pretty quick on the bases.
Rides one outside.
That was close to the one that Nucky was called on.
Throwing a variety of pitches, isn't she, so far, Millie?
And Eagles making her throw a lot of pitches.
Yeah.
Begs the question if the plan is to have Millie Fidge go the entire game today, or will they go with Poppy Carmen in relief at some point? Typical formula for the Falcons last year was use Fidge for as long as they could, or use Adams for as long as they could, and switch it up to the other one. Patient at bat from Lana Kaesler. 4 walks already from this West Torrens lineup. And here's a dangerous bat to come in the lineup with Steph Trzynski.
You'd be thinking about passing her up, wouldn't you, Steph?
With Jordan Harris standing next?
But you'd be thinking about, there's 2 out, remember?
Yes, but there's Jordan Harris and Sophie Hoyle to follow.
They've got 3 options here where they could have 4. Yeah.
Do you put 2 runners in scoring position? You already have the force out at 1, 2, or 3.
Well, you're only chasing 1 run, aren't you, really? It's not like you're chasing a handful.
Fidge versus Trzynski, a big bat. Just the 1 hit so far for West Torrens. They've had 5 on base.
I tell you one thing, she hits it, it'll stay hit. It'll go deep. That'll allow, if it goes deep to centre field again, that'll allow Jackie, or there'll be 3 out then. Forget that.
You saw Trzynski in the home run derby a couple weeks ago crush 11 home runs in 60 seconds.
7 in a row, I think it was.
It was effortless as well. Like, she was very efficient with her swings. So she was watching the ball well, middling the ball in the bat. So,
and she had a very good tosser, tossing to her.
Fidge ahead in the count. Trzynski lays off it.
I tell you what, she's pitching very carefully to a lot of these batters. Throwing a lot of pitches. No
extra base hit. She's traded sort of the balls in the strike zone for walks. As Steph Trzynski bites at it. It's the 3rd strikeout of the day for Millie Fidge. She's had both her strikeouts with runners standing on first and second base, getting strikeouts when she absolutely needs them. And Sturt hold West Torrens again.
Consecutive innings striking out the 3rd out as well with runners in scoring position. So, she's like ice out there on the pitching stripe, isn't she? She's hasn't looked like she's been phased, even when it looked like West Torrens would get on top, runners in scoring position, a few walks as well. So, full credit, Millie Fidge having a game.
And Steph was a classic case. Hard hitter of the ball. The people that hit the ball hard do not like the ball being off pace. They really struggle with those.
Trzynski returns to the circle. She's retired her last 4. Sturt, just as you'd probably expect, a decisive 1-run lead off the hands of one of their decisive players in Maddie Cameron.
Interesting, that first game we had, boys, wasn't it?
13-3, and now
Yeah.
we're in a 1-0 pitchers dual arm wrestle.
And 5 of the Port players that left were in their starting 10. You know, so they've done very well, Port Adelaide. Walkerville with some work to do.
Indigo back to Silva, leads things off this inning for Sturt. She was the Rookie of the Year last year.
She's been a find.
Well earned.
Premier
She's
League,
been a find, hasn't she?
Premier League Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Started as a right-hand batter, changed to the left-handed batter's box, very similar to Jackie Beale. We mentioned that a few times during the fully loaded pre-season competition. There was only one left-hand batter in the whole league, and is the second left-hand batter we've seen in this game after Jackie Beale.
The difference between Indigo and Jackie is Indigo hits the ball harder. She will pull the ball to right field if she needs to.
Indigo back to Silva had some big shoes to fill, taking over for Ada Caruana, the legendary right fielder and leadoff woman for Sturt, and she did a tremendous job stepping into that role right off the hop.
Will she be back, Ada James, do you think?
Well, she's just given birth, and it's a long season, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never know. She played a fair while last year, probably up until the break, the long break.
Yep.
But we saw her coming out week in, week out, supporting her team.
Steph Trzynski with another strikeout. It's number 3 on the day. Back-to-back for her. The leadoff retired. And just a little bit of rain starting to trickle down. Nothing too ominous looking, but enough gray stuff to add a little bit of moisture in the air. Sarah Tonkin led off the game with a hit on a hot shot to left field that got past a sprawling Lana Kaesler.
Good batter, Sarah, isn't she? Hard hitter, up the middle hitter.
In there for a called strike. Now, I know it was a batter ago, but it took me a little while to find it. Ada Caruana, since we've been collating these stats, has a 379 career average, which is tied with Belinda White. So
for top.
Yeah, she's in the top 5, 6 hitters in the comp. Amber Hood gets under that to take a catch.
Well, Steph Trzynski started to find her rhythm. 6 in a row retired from the All-Australian. And a key one to get. Rachel Tonkin will come up to bat. It'll be the next inning if she can retire Rachel Tonkin that Belle White and Maddie Cameron would lead things off. You want to delay that as long as possible. Tonkin settles in. This one just a little bit outside. Not thick clouds, but it is starting to sprinkle.
Well, the forecast was for 0 to 1 millimetre of rain, so we've got that 1 millimetre.
Swing and a miss. 2 strikes on Rachel Tonkin. Steph Trzynski had a 1-2-3 inning in the last inning. Looking to do the same here. She's 1 strike away. Just tailed away outside at the last moment. Back to a full count. Now it looks sunny outside again as a big gap in the clouds have come in the middle of the field.
1 mil of rain they expected if we had that.
Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 4 on the day, 7 straight retired. Steph Trzynski starting to find her groove, and through 3, Sturt clinging to a 1-0 lead.
Well, Sturt will take the lead after 3 complete innings. They have not had it all their own way, as Steph Trzynski, as Eric just said, is starting to find her groove. But this young Falcons lineup just look like they are getting it done here at the moment. There is no panic amongst them. The tempo is down. It doesn't feel like a high tempo game. And this is in the favour of the Falcons. You'd think they're cool and calm and collected, and they've got a couple of superstars leading this team, and They look comfortable at the moment, even though it is a 1-0 lead.
Speaking of superstars, tough lineup to start this inning. Jordan Harris back in her natural spot, leading off an inning. Followed by Sophie Hoyle and Kelsey Nucky. Those are 3 stars players over the last few years that will try to set the table.
Well, we saw Harris with a very unique stat for a leadoff batter for the West Torrens Eagles. Led their team in RBIs and was in the top 3 in the competition. So for a leadoff batter, but she also led the competitions in home runs as well.
Tells you something about the bottom half of the batting for West Torrens. They get on, Jordan does the rest.
Harris swings at the first pitch.
That's power, isn't it? Huge power. See, this is a batter, Geordie, I'd be throwing change-ups to. She loves the ball coming onto her, as all good batters do. Just don't give her the ball pitch she wants.
Rides up high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's it. That's the pitch, though. Throw it somewhere near the strike zone. Make her commit.
Going off speed.
Yep.
Normally Millie Fidge has been that kind of mid-90s. On her harder stuff, that one falls in mid-70s. Back up to 90 on the ball that rides up high.
3-1 count. Infield's back a fair bit when you think about it, considering that Harris is a known running bunter.
Yep.
Harris works a walk. 5 walks for West Torrens today, 2 from Harris. They haven't really been able to do anything with it. No big hits yet in the game, but getting runners on, not an issue for the Eagles thus far.
For a lineup that boasts the likes of Hoyle, Nucky, Allen, Kayser, Beale, Hood, Trzynski, keep going and going. Only 1 hit?
Yeah.
That's showing that Millie is a star of this competition.
And the 5 walks from Millie Fidge. Is this crunched? Hoyle to center field. Cameron makes the play. I was about to say, Millie Fidge not missing big on her walks. They've all been nibbling on the outside.
But she's getting the people out she needs to get out.
Kelsey Nucky, one of them. Last time she was up to bat, there was runners on first and second. 3 strikeouts. She was one of the 3 strikeout victims so far in the game from Millie Fidge. All of her strikeouts have come with runners in scoring position. Nucky takes ball 1.
Although this will be what, a 3rd full season. Did she pitch a few seasons ago as well? So let's just say her 3rd full season pitching in the Premier League. She's never had a blowout either. So
No.
Up the middle, White gets 1. Good slide from Harris, stops Belle White from making the throw over. They retire the dangerous, speedy leadoff runner.
Didn't look like Bell was too impressed about that neither.
yeah, she commands respect on the diamond, but she's coming up against an Aussie and a Stars teammate in Harris, and that's part of the game. And if anyone else if it was on the other side, it would be White doing that as well.
Yep.
So not too much to complain for mine.
No.
We remember that she drew blood when she stood on Kelsey Nucky in that qualifying final last year. She's a tough player, Belle White, so I'm sure she will give it as good as she can take.
You can see on the leading team's replay, Harris just bothered Belle White enough to prevent any sort of throw. Carly Allen had some pop, that goes foul.
I think even if she, on the replay, even if she got the ball away, I think the runner would have been safe any case.
Nucky on base for the first time this season, reaching on a fielder's choice, Carly Allen. Belle White gathers, fires, retires the side. 4 innings through for West Torrens, and they've still yet to crack this Sturt defense.
Leading team's replay was a change of pace, and Allen held the hands back long enough. She chopped it into the ground, and Bell got a very kind bounce. It was taken about head height, so she was able to just to cock, load, and fire.
If you circle maybe a key moment in this game that we'll come to at the end of it, Steph Trzynski now has to face Belle White, the Olympian, and Maddie Cameron, the woman that just doesn't seem to get out in this competition to lead things off in this inning. Maddie Cameron has already provided the damage of that one run in this game. That's who leads things off. It's the square middle of the lineup for Sturt here in the 4th inning. We're over the midway point of the game by time at the exact midway point of 7 innings. You feel like this is an important moment.
Yeah, middle of the game. We spoke about the importance of scoring first last game in the Port Adelaide Walkerville game, and the floodgates opened as soon as that one run was scored. So a bit tighter in this game, but that one run could be the difference against these two teams who played out 5 games last year, and although Sturt won the first game, West Torrens then beat them 3 games in a row. Before Sturt beat them in the one that counted most in the qualifying final. So 3 wins to 2 for these two teams last year in favour of West Torrens, and
the runs.
Yeah, they were all reasonably high-scoring games. 8-0, 7-6, 11-7, 5-2, and the runs between each other, 26 for the Sturt, 25 for West Torrens in the 5 encounters, which the last game, the deciding run, was scored in the extra innings.
Well, a great showdown. We always love to watch Steph Trzynski versus Belle White. 2 big stars going head-to-head. Trzynski first pitch over the plate for a strike.
She's good on the outside of the plate, Belle White. She can hit it. Yeah. Opposite field as good as anyone. Chelsea Robinson comes to mind. Georgia Hood for opposite field power.
Right at Kaesler. She's done that twice today. Line shots to the third base. And Lana Kaesler up to the task both times. 2 L5s I've got on the score sheet now from that.
Yeah, Kaesler all over that one. As it looked like it was travelling towards the inside of the plate. White was early on it and line drive straight to Kaesler, and she's got one of the safest gloves in that hot corner third base that we've seen.
First pitch swing from Maddie Cameron towards center field. Jackie Beal tracks under it, and Maddie Cameron is out.
We don't hear it very often. She is 1 for 2, still 500 for the game, so that's under a performance from last year of 600.
Well, I hyped it up a lot, saying this could be a key moment. Belle White, Maddie Cameron coming up in the middle versus Steph Trzynski. Trzynski needs 3 pitches to retire both of them.
Well, it would be very, very rare to see a 1-2-3 inning for White, Cameron, Fidge. So Trzynski's got 2/3 of the work done here, but gee, Millie Fidge just popped up when it counted most during fully loaded during the competition, and she sits in the middle of the batting order for the Falcons, but she'd probably be in the top few for any other team in the competition. She's got a handy bat.
Trzynski has retired the last 9 batters in a row, so she's got through the lineup. 4 strikeouts on the day for Trzynski, working into the 4th inning. Goes off speed. Couldn't get Fidge to chase.
A called strike, though. On that change of pace from Trzynski. We don't see the change up very often because she doesn't need it, but it's good to see her.
Low.
Yeah,
sorry, James.
Just good to see her mixing up a little bit here.
There.
You're looking for inside low, you got it.
Yeah. That's what I would have thrown.
Not much between these teams at all.
She's off again, Steph.
Yeah, Steph was walking off. Had to scoot back.
That's twice she's done it. Twice she's been incorrect.
You'll see it on the leading team's replay. There's a dance back. Well, Millie Fidge takes 3 straight pitches, and she's aboard. It's the first walk issued by Steph Trzynski this year. Breaks up a run of 9 straight outs from Trzynski, and it's a runner aboard. Neve Adams up to bat.
I don't have any numbers on Fidge's stolen bases, so sometimes you'd think a coach might go to the dugout for a younger player, but you'd think that she'll stay in the game if they have to bring in another pitcher. So say Poppy Cumming comes into pitch, you'd think that Fidge will stay in the game for her bat.
Yep.
Adams went right back towards Steph Trzynski, but swings through it.
And that's what happens when you get pitchers with pace. You'll get batters swinging even harder and missing it, not getting anywhere near it.
Swing harder, miss harder.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we spoke about Georgia Burr in the opening game of the Premier League season, making the change from Sturt to Port. She was the best batter in the under-16 Nationals a couple of years ago. Well, Neve Adams was the MVP, so plenty of talent from that group. And she swings with confidence as she fouls this one off, even with 2 strikes behind on the count. She had a couple of good swings in her first turn at bat. She did pop out to second. So Neve Adams not dying wondering in the box.
Dips into the dirt. Gets 2s on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Come back with your best pitch now as the pitcher. She won't have a half swing at it.
Kaesler makes the play. And Steph Trzynski allows the 1 walk, but through 4 innings, nothing much in it at all. That first inning run looming large right now as you take a look at the leading team's replay. But Sturt, 4 down, 3 to go, 1-0 lead.
It's her 4th or 5th play, Lana Kaesler, so she looks pretty solid at third base. That one was a tricky one because she had to smother it really as the bounce come about waist height. She does start fairly low to the ground, a low centre of gravity when she plays at third base and fires it across to Nucky for the 3rd out. And so these 2 heavyweights are going, well, blow for blow, you'd say, but there's toe-to-toe is more like it, because there really has only been 1 punch that's landed after Sarah Tonkin led off the bottom of the first innings with a single, and then it was Maddie Cameron's deep ball to left field over the head of Harris, and it was Belle White as a courtesy runner. So with 2 outs, they gave up a crucial hit, a double to Cameron, and that's been the difference in this game.
We are 1 hour into the game approximately. It was a late starting game. These games go for 90 minutes or 7 innings, whatever happens first.
Mary Fuss is going to bat twice, and she's going to bat lead off on both occasions.
She reached the walk before she was out on a fielder's choice.
Yep.
Mary Fuss, second-year player.
And that's
Watches a lot of pitches.
That's a first strike in 6 pitches.
Yeah. Last season, I noticed she has a smaller strike zone, so she plays on that.
Good cut, confident swing, just off of it, but looked like she had the line right. It's just the timing now.
5 walks for West Torrens if you're just joining us so far. Just 1 hit. But they have put runners in scoring position, but that's when the strikeout pitch for Millie Fidge has come about.
West Torrens will have to start thinking percentages soon. So far, we've only seen the short game from the left-handed batter, strikeout swinging out of the zone from Fuss for the first out. So Millie Fidge racks up another. Is that her 4th?
4 strikeouts.
And 7 people on base. My tally.
Well, 3rd time through coming for West Torrens. Last year, Sturt with their platoon, you saw a lot of times that when they got to that 3rd time through and they got into a little bit of trouble, they would go to whoever the other pitcher was. Millie Fidge, the ace this year. We'll see how long of a leash she has. She's certainly well equipped the way things are going so far to get through again. Hood scoops down on it. Bell White laid out. But Amber Hood aboard for the second time today, this time a single up the middle.
Timing's right, top of the order, third time through. Amber Hood, seen a lot of pitches and gets the single.
Must bunt here.
Well, you can
Left
see
field,
it again. Left side's
left field
in.
is in the wrong position for this batter.
Left side's in, so your shortstop and your third base.
Yeah, but the left fielder, Matty Ashby, first turn at bat for Jackie. She was right in on the dirt. Now she's gone back. And that's where Jackie will hit the ball. If she gets it in the air, it'll go over the third base's head to that spot.
Testing the arm of Tonkin, it slips through. The throw is a little off the mark. Amber Hood slides her way into scoring position. Bunt no longer required. Amber Hood taking that one herself.
First stolen base of the season for Hood, who's second of our, let's say, all-time stats over the last 3 years since we've been collating.
West Torrens 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position today. 3 strikeouts in all of those occasions. Millie Fidge has been very careful, is how you would describe it, with this West Torrens lineup.
What she needs to do with Jackie is pitch the ball inside, force her to hit the ball where she doesn't want to hit it.
You'd almost steal again. Look how close the left side is here.
Yeah.
There's neither of them are going to be able to get back to see where the runner's running to make that tag. So the throw's just got to be perfect and hope that the fielder can get back there.
And Amber Hood has some wheels.
Look where what's name's playing Tash at first. She's far too deep. See?
Lobbed in tight. Oh. Neve Adams.
She tried to claim it, didn't she?
She did. She's made a few of those catches before. She's got that reputation. Look forward to seeing this on the leading team's replay.
Just bobbled out of the glove, and life for Jackie Beale.
She
it bounced first and then it bobbled out.
Almost.
Yeah.
Jackie Beale stays alive. She's going to work a count full.
And she's not a big puller of the ball, so Indigo back to Silver's far too deep. Tash should be right in here, because if it's inside to her, it'll jam her up. She'll get safe.
Beale. White holds the runner.
Whew.
It was close at first.
It was going quick, that ball.
But West Torrens now 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position.
So, Lee, that's the point I made in the first inning when we saw that the players were deep on the right side. That's so Rachel Tonkin can cover second on a play like that, and then you've got that first base player to make the out at first base. So if all the fielders were in, then, well, Jackie Beale was going to be safe all the time. So smart defense from the Falcons.
Yep.
Lana Kaesler 0 for 1 with a walk.
She's due, Lana.
Trzynski on deck. Harris would follow. But there are 2 outs.
I'm going long ball to left field.
Eagles haven't been able to string them together this game at all, as this one's low for a ball. We saw the walk and then hit into a double play. We did see a walk and a single, but then consecutive strikeouts to retire the side. 2 walks in the third inning, but that was broken up by some good defense and a strikeout to end the inning. A leadoff walk in the fourth, only to be denied.
8 people on base, no score.
5 walks and 2
something.
hits. 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, and 3 strikeouts have come from that for Millie Fidge in a very
Come on, Lana.
careful performance.
Big shot to left field.
Going
Wrong
opposite
side.
field.
What's going on?
Is it going to fall in? No, but what a hustle from Rachel Tonkin you saw coming into your screen trying to make that play. So Kaesler, a couple strikes on her.
Come on, Lana. Straight out to Matty Ashby on the ground.
Unbiased commentary from Lee Hull on.
No,
Oh well.
I'm just feeling it.
Fidge. Kaesler straight up in the air. Millie Fidge calls people off.
Was heading that way.
And the Eagles leave them stranded again.
Yeah. 8.
5 innings, and the Falcons' defense have stood up on every occasion, blanking the Eagles.
Left on base.
Bottom of the lineup coming up in Straps, Ashby, and Indigo Beck de Silva. An hour and 5 minutes, hour and 6 minutes we've played in this game so far. We could be a chance to finish this game in the 7 innings regulation. Look, so far Millie Fidge probably knew she couldn't allow too many runs, and it's been a pretty good effort from her so far. The first run of the game was scored by the first batter of the game for Sturt. Sarah Tonkin got aboard. She was pinch run for Belle White, and Maddie Cameron delivered the RBI double, just as you would expect. Since then, though, 10 of 11 batters retired from Steph Trzynski, who's looking in fine form, just as you would expect. Show the bottom of the lineup, Tash Straps and Maddie Ashby and Indigo Beck de Silva. See if the bottom part of the lineup can get things done. That is how we stand as we are in the middle of the 4th inning, not the end of the 5th, as you might see on screen. So we head to the bottom of the 5th with Sturt up to bat. And in walks Maddie Ashby. Or Tash Straps, sorry.
Yeah, Tash Straps to
in
lead
walks Maddie
things
Ashby
off.
to the on-deck circle. Is what I was going to say.
It's late in the day, Eric, and you've played a game of baseball. How'd you go today?
Oh, batting 1,000, Lee. A few stolen bases.
How old was the catcher that you stole on? 3?
About that.
He's not lying, Lee. He got hits against a former Adelaide Giants player.
Oh, really?
I am a speedy guy on the base pass. You'll see a video of me going around the internet right now versus Bianca Smith, former softballer, current baseball player. Very quickly. Back to the ball game.
And she beat Andrew Scott, right?
And she beat Andrew Scott. Tash Straps lobs one over, and it's a nice catch from Alana Kaesler.
Kaesler back in the action. Flying.
Kaesler's been busy.
Yep.
1, 2.
Leading
3.
teams replay as Eric counts the plays that Kaesler's been involved in, and Tash wasn't far off that one, and she makes a good catch. How many plays, mate?
I've got 5 plays. She's got 2 5-3 putouts. She's got 3 catches, and then she had 1 that was right towards her, but it was a hot shot, and there was no way she was going to grab there. So Lana Kaesler, she's clinical over at third base, let's be honest. Maddie Ashby.
Well, since that first run that you were just talking about, Eric, it has been a pitching duel where Trzynski hasn't given up a hit. She's given up a walk, but nothing since that RBI double from Cameron in the first, at the top of the first. So if Sturt do manage to pick up a run right now, it'll be off the work of their 8-9 batters with the 1 out already. So it'll be interesting to see who delivers the next blow.
Only 3 players on base for Sturt for 1 run.
They've made them count.
Yep, they certainly have.
West Torrens, meanwhile, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Sturt, they're 1 for 2, but they were... No, they weren't. They didn't even have a runner in scoring position when she scored that run. It was just a double that scored Belle White.
As the courtesy runner for Sarah Tonkin's single.
Making something of your opportunities. Boys.
Seems like something a team that has won a couple premierships would do.
Yeah, they know how to win, the Falcons.
Know how to keep their nose in front too in games. I think it's a lot to do with self-belief, belief in themselves, belief in their team, belief in the coaching staff. All adds up, doesn't it, to wins.
They don't do a whole lot of things wrong, the Sturt Falcons, which means to beat them, you have to play nearly the perfect game.
Oh.
Foul ball right into the chest plate of the plate umpire.
Keeping it a full count.
Yeah, so good at bat so far from Maddie Ashby. Strikeout victim, her first turn at bat.
Yes, she did.
Number 5 for Steph Trzynski, rather. She has been swimming along since those first 4 batters of the game.
Back to Silva for her second plate appearance. We are in the bottom of the 5th.
12 of the last 13 batters retired. 1 walk during that time. 4 strikeouts in that string of 13. Steph Trzynski is, well,
Having a day out.
she doesn't really give you too much, but
No.
Sturt have taken just enough at this stage. Indigo back to Silva, trying to put herself on for Sarah Tonkin.
She's a promising player, Indy.
I feel like there's a lot of promising players in this state, aren't they?
Yeah. But she's got power with it too. She can just not just put the ball on the deck. She can hit it hard.
Jumps out of the way of that one.
Needs to wait for the music before she starts dancing.
I think she was backing away from that high inside.
As you would at that pace.
Hitters count.
Swing Indy.
Well, a walk
not.
from Indigo back to Silva. That'll work.
Yeah, Trzynski's, I'm not saying that she's lost her strike zone here whatsoever. I mean, 2 hits and 2 walks for the game, but just the last 2 batters she seems to have missed the zone, so she's relying on them chasing, whereas they seem to be watching a lot more pitches now.
Yeah.
Second and now 3rd time through.
And Sarah Tonkin, one of those 2 players that has a hit versus Steph Trzynski in this game.
Then a pop fly a second time, so bat on ball both times.
Normally
For
up
the
the middle,
Falcons
hit
leadoff.
her off the good pitches she is.
Just on the outside edge. So does that surprise you, Lee, that second and shortstop both playing a regulation position, that not one of them's gone up the middle a little?
It does, because that's her strength. They usually go straight out the centre field quickly.
Again, Trzynski in a place that she's not normally, which is behind in a count.
Yeah. And she's probably aware of it too, because that's why she's throwing them around a bit.
Contact, but foul.
Still in triple digits, 101 for that pitch. And so she's got half a dozen Ks on Millie Fidge, who has started to drop away a little on the speed radar. So she's low 90s now, but Trzynski's maintained speed. Just the location now.
Yep.
We know she's a competitor and she's got such high standards, so 2 hits and 2 walks doesn't seem like a great performance, but she's been right on top of it here since that 4th batter of the game.
It doesn't matter how good a pitcher you are, you know the capabilities of the batters. That's why you pitch them carefully.
Well, the ball boy is Alan McAuliffe, and if you're new to softball, you can forgive you for not knowing that name, but he is a World Baseball Softball Confederation Hall of Famer, and he just handed the ball to another one in Neville Lawrence. So high quality ball boys here, as well as commentary and players. Let's have a look at this one.
That's a tough play. Throw across, and Sarah Tonkin has legged out an infield single.
I think she's gone to the wrong base there. That one on the backhand side probably look at second base for a potential out. Maybe it was came to her a little slower than she expected as we look at the leading team's replay. She didn't have to backhand it, but she did get the throw off fairly quickly, Amber Hood, but Tonkin quickly up to first base.
You'd take that any day of the week, wouldn't you? 2 hits off a Steph out of 3 turns at bat.
Well, we are starting to get in the equation of how many more opportunities will West Torrens have. This game started at 4:19, no new innings after 85 minutes, which means 5:44 on your clock. So 8 minutes away is when that will be the cutoff time. So you'd think that after this, West Torrens probably just one more opportunity to bat. So this with a runner in scoring position could be so decisive.
New hitter, Lauren Jury.
Yeah, a couple of changes made, and I'm glad that we can see Jury in the game because she was in the top 5 hitters for the Falcons last year, plus 300 batting average, and Maddie Ashby's also come in as a courtesy runner for Sarah Tonkin with the 2 outs.
Key moment in the game. They've been opportunistic. They've generated 2 runners on base out of nothing. There was literally 2 outs.
Well, they've got to get her out, don't they? Because then comes Bell and Maddie.
And then it will likely be the last chance for West Torrens to try to pad it. But you're absolutely right. They have to avoid Bell White and Maddie Cameron. Trzynski ahead, though. Goes up a bit high.
Disciplined batter, isn't she, Lauren? Yeah. Small strike zone, very small strike zone. Takes advantage of it.
2-1 count. Allen senses the moment as well. Let's get it in here. Let's challenge her.
Let her hit the ball.
Yeah, let her put the ball into play and back our field because we've got White up next and we're running out of time as well. That's experience from Allen behind the plate.
Yep. Many years of it. Just let the ball, like you said, James, put the ball in the plate and let them make an out.
There you go, a strike.
And come back with the same pitch, it doesn't matter.
Trzynski a strike away from getting out of the inning and giving West Torrens a chance.
And Jury one swing away from giving the Falcons, or extending their lead.
Swing and a miss, 6 strikeouts for Steph Trzynski. She gets out of the jam. 2 runners stranded for Sturt. We're through 5, we're going to 6 in what should be the final inning. Sturt lead 1-0.
Well, that's percentage play, as I've mentioned before. Just throw strikes, make her hit the ball. Can't walk her, not with those 2, White and Cameron, to come up.
One scenario to brief everybody on, if you're watching here, if West Torrens bat for about 6 or 7 minutes and they don't score a run, will they just call the game?
Yeah, if they won't start a new inning with less than 5 minutes to go, but they also won't. There's no need to play out the remainder of the inning if the team batting second is ahead.
So, if all things go according to schedule, it's the last chance to dance for the West Torrens Eagles, or they have to treat it that way. And they've got Trzynski, Harris, and Hoyle who are up to bat. They did have this combination lead off before, and Trzynski flew out. Harris walked. She eventually advanced to third, and Sophie Hoyle had a hit. But then Millie Fidge came back with back-to-back strikeouts in what was one of the game-defining moments. Steph Trzynski 0 for 2 in the game. Millie Fidge has only allowed 2 hits. She has been excellent today. That rides up inside.
Yeah, Trzynski looks quite surprised as well. She's gathering herself here.
Shocked is the word, I think. Nearly cut her in 2. That's all we need in this game, this sport of ours, 2 Steph Trzynskis.
Outside for a ball, so 2 balls on Trzynski, who usually likes to go hard early in the count.
Yeah,
so
she does, and I think Millie and Sarah will wake up to this.
Good work there from our team at Spacequake Sports, getting all the emotion of Steph Trzynski, or the expression at least. There's Steph going after it. 2-1 count.
Well, she is a competitor, Trzynski. She wants to help her team out both offensively and defensively. Get her team started here in the top of the 6th, their last chance.
Millie needs to throw inside and low to her. put it out there, she'll belt it.
She makes
Like
some
that.
good contact. It's heading towards left field, and it drops. Maddie Ashby was charging onto it. Steph Trzynski dives into second, and it's a leadoff runner in scoring position for the Eagles.
Well, good shot from Trzynski. She may have been disappointed. A lot happening there as Maddie Ashby overrun it. Maddie Cameron on the spot and tries to fire in as Steph Trzynski takes full advantage of that ball that's spilt out of the reach of Ashby. And
Heads up base running. Great camera work on the field camera from Spacequake Sports. Jordan Harris, 0 for 0 on the day, but she's got 2 walks. And she is as powerful as they come in this competition. The Eagles 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position today. That has been the game story. They've had opportunities, but Sturt have kept them off the board. Can they hold that? This likely the final chance for the Eagles. They got to treat it like the last inning.
You know what I'd go here now? I'd go bunt. Push the runner on. Just push the ball to first base. Look how deep she's playing, Tash. Just bunt
try
the
to
ball.
tie it up first, Lee, before you can win it.
Yeah. That's right.
Ball down low, and it's going to be a favorable hitter's count coming up for
Hey,
Jordan
James,
Harris.
Why I say that, James, is there's none out. There are none out.
And a hitter's count as well, so a pretty good pitch to do it. And if Harris doesn't get the signal from Coach Scott, she could make that decision herself.
She's very good at running bunts, surprise running bunts.
She'll watch it over the plate, brings the count full. The 5 walks are misleading from Millie Fidge because she hasn't been missed on her control all game long. But she's been in a lot of counts like this versus a very tenacious Eagles hitting team. Full count, runner in scoring position, 1-run ball game. Harris extends the at-bat with a foul ball.
High pitch.
It was high in the zone, and I think one of the first swings she's had, except for the first foul that she hit in her first turn at bat.
With power but foul. Both teams could sense the moment of the game. We're about to hit the 85-minute mark, so there will be no new innings once this inning is complete.
Will she throw off pace here, Millie? You'd be tempted, I think.
Full count,
Just
round 3.
Get Jordan committed like that. But it wasn't in the zone.
2 runners aboard for West Torrens.
Timeout called from Justina Adams, the Sturt Falcons head coach, as the Sturt defense gather, the West Torrens offense gather for a chat. There are none out. There are 2 runners on, and Sophie Hoyle up to bat, the only player to get a hit the first time round, or the first 2 times round for the Eagles. It was a single out to left field. She's flown out to centre as well, so she's had 2 good contacts, but that has not worked for the Eagles so far.
We were
And you tempted to pass her up.
We asked the question earlier in the game about Millie Fidge going through a 3rd time through the lineup, this time as the ace. Well, the 3rd time through, 3 of the 5 batters have reached with 2 hits and a walk.
Yeah, solid contact from Jackie Beale to shortstop. That was a good piece of the ball, and Lana Kaiser's pop-up, she looked likely. You had Lee Hull supporting her as well to swing away. So it's been, you're right, Eric, it's been all West Torrens.
Sophie Hoyle, no outs. 2 runners on. The go-ahead run all the way at first.
I'm pitching her very
But you
carefully.
have to tie the game before you can go ahead.
Yep.
Sturt will bat again in this game only if West Torrens tie or go ahead. Hoyle lays down the bunt, and it just drifts foul. Do you like that call, Lee?
I do.
Either way, it's a dead ball. The Sturt player is claiming that it's hit the batter, but she would have been in the box when it happened.
Yeah.
I'm surprised as we see the leading teams replay, yeah, still in the box as that one goes foul. I'm surprised to see the West Torrens runners aren't busting out of the blocks, getting massive leads. Even if nothing happens at the plate and the catcher takes it, just run straight back to the base. Get out there. Put the base running pressure on this defense. Sturt Falcons are playing this game on their own terms, at their own tempo. There's no pressure being applied at the moment.
The showing bunt again, just pulled it back at the last second, 2-1 count.
Well, she's shown bunt twice now. I'd say she's hitting away.
That's another one go. She's going to get a hitter's count, though. A good pitch to either bunt or swing at. What will she decide? One good crack of the bat that finds a gap might give them the lead.
Percentage players to bunt the ball here.
And
So four.
That should be four balls, yep. Sophie Hoyle just double checking that. So bases loaded.
Good turn at bat.
And no outs.
Just on the radar gun, she's down to about 94 Ks, Millie Fidge. So just dropping off a little, but still in the 90s. So that's enough to put pressure on the batters, but 2 walks.
7 base on balls.
Still, West Torrens, though, do not have that hit with runners in scoring position. They are 0 for 5. They do have 2 walks, though, but 7 plate appearances and no hits with runners in scoring position. Kelsey Nucky tries to get them their first. She swings through it. Strike 1.
And Jordan's batted 3 times for 3 base on balls.
Yep.
7 base on balls, a lot of base on balls, isn't it? For no score.
Eagles need to take advantage. They put the ball in play. The force is available. They get the tag. They get the out at first, but they do score the run.
So it'll be a double play, 1 run to tie it up. So Rachel Tonkin tried to tag Sophie Hoyle. She tried to get out of it, but she's broken 3 foot from the runner's path. And then followed it up with a double play. So sharp double in defense for Rachel Tonkin. Kelsey Nucky with the RBI. And Carly Allen with the runner still in scoring position. It's a tied ball game.
But a huge double play because it takes a little bit of pressure off.
You'd want another. You'd want an insurance run, knowing that your first batter of the next inning is Belinda White, the second batter, Maddie Cameron.
And with bases loaded, no outs, you'd want more than 1. Still no hits with runners in scoring position. They're now 0 for 6. Allen in the air. Belinda White calls everybody out off of it. And West Torrens, despite loading the bases with no out, only managed to score 1, which means they can't win the game. But Sturt still have that hope.
Well, a key double play from Rachel Tonkin. And Carly Allen just getting underneath it a little bit as she skies out. Belinda White took it comfortably at second base, although she had the base itself to contend with. And a big inning for both sides because Eagles look like that they had it in their grasp. 3 base runners from the first 3 batters.
Eagles 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They do score the 1 run, though.
Yep.
As it was probably, in hindsight now, a very wise move from Rachel Tonkin to just tag the runner, take the double play, concede the run, and now try to let the bats of Belle White and Maddie Cameron do it.
Yeah, I think that was clever of Rachel. There's no chance of her getting, with her arm, especially getting the runner going home.
If you get Belle White out, do you consider passing up Maddie Cameron, or do you not even worry about putting the winning run on base?
Well, with Steph Trzynski on the mound, she has retired Neve Adams both times, Tash Traps both times. Well, the bottom 4 batters, she's retired them both times. Millie Fidge once with a walk as well. So the numbers are in her favour. So potentially, you just take that risk out of it.
Here we go. Bottom of the last inning. Sturt and West Torrens in a 1-1 game. Belle White, first pitch swing is a mile high in the air. Moving back.
It's called
fair. Belle White on 2. Belle White collides into the runner. She's going to try to go for third, and she's in there. What a wacky sequence of events. It was played in fair territory, knocked foul. Belle White collided with the shortstop rounding third.
Yeah, Kaiser's lost it in the sky. It's a cloudy day.
But take a look at Belle White running into the shortstop.
Yeah, we'd said that before, that she's a gritty player. She's a hard player. So she took full toll of any runner that looked like there was in a path, deliberately making contact to ensure her safety to the next base. As she stands on third, as we see an intentional walk.
Maddie Cameron intentionally walked. She's going to get the free bag to second. Her run does not matter, Maddie Cameron's. The only one that matters is Belle White standing at third. She touches home. The game is over. So Steph Drzezinski, who is a strikeout pitcher, has to go after Millie Fidge, Neve Adams, and Tash Straps.
3 very capable batters.
Straps puts it in the air.
Or a sacrifice fly would do it.
A sacrifice fly would do it. You don't want to catch that in foul territory. Eagles take note.
Yeah, well, Fidge has had a big cut at that one. She showed bunt just to protect that runner moving across to second to break up that force, so she's behind the count here 0-2, but that was a very confident swing.
In play, White holds at third. Kaesler doesn't force the throw after she bobbled it.
Well, that brings the force back into play, so really there's not much damage. You said at the last batter, that runner at second does not matter. That run at the plate does. So if this one goes into play, all plays are to home. The runner's going, the field is in, the outfield need to make home on a catch. Neve Adams up to bat.
In the last inning, both teams have had bases loaded with nobody out. West Torrens only managed to score the 1 run. 1 run is all that Sturt need. Can they walk off the Eagles, or can the Eagles keep them to a draw? Adams trying to deliver the decisive blow, has a crack. It'll be a first strike.
She's given it her all because she knows that a fly ball to the outfield is probably going to be enough.
Yep.
5 of the last 6 batters for Sturt have reached after Steph Drzezinski had retired 12 of 13.
Well, we said it in the last time. The top of the inning, the third time through the lineup, really matters.
She's got to keep the ball down.
Hit hard towards right field. It's going to drop in. And the Sturt Falcons walk off the Eagles in game number 1.
A single to right field. Mary looked like she was contending with the line there, whether or not to go for it. She found herself in 2 minds, and she ended up leaving it and watching it drop into fair territory. Too late for the throw to come in, as we see Neve Adams walk it off. What a great game to start the season, a 2-1 epic battle. It was a arm wrestle. She collapsed. Belle White was tagging up, and she will cross the plate. And West Torrens find a way to drop another one.
Neve Adams, you might have to circle her name. She delivers the decisive RBI blow. Think back to the first inning. Had the double play and a really nice catch. Sturt and West Torrens don't have much separating them, and not much has changed after the long offseason.
Well, go back to the start of that inning. Belinda White gets on base from a dropped fly ball. Then she runs into a couple of runners to get the obstruction and safely to third.
Well, with runners in scoring position, Sturt they had 2 hits with runners in scoring position. They scored a couple runs. West Torrens, no hits in 7 opportunities, and that really was a big difference, wasn't it?
Yeah, they struggled to score that 1 run that they did get. I think there was a couple of double plays from the Falcons. Their defense really held up, getting behind young pitcher Millie Fidge, and gee, didn't she do well? Although she looked like that West Torrens were getting on top of them, she managed to get the outs there with the last 2 batters of the top of the 6th.
We're going to throw it down to David Muggleton. He's got Rachel Tonkin.
Thanks, guys. All right, Rachel, huge moment in the tail end of the game. West Torrens looking like they could potentially take the lead. Bases loaded. go for the double play instead of throwing home, allowing them to tie up the game. What was the decision in that play?
It was a bit of a slow roller hit, so instead of trying to get that out at home, I was like better chance to get that tag, and she was kind of just right there, so I went for the tag, got the tag, and then paid one.
Now, did you have enough faith in the lineup that you were, because Steph Trzynski doesn't allow a lot of hits, so once you take that double play and allow that single run, the next big thing is you've then got to score another run to get the win.
Yeah, we were at a good place in our lineup, so yeah, no issues there.
No worries. Now, we've had the fully loaded competition, but now Premier League softball back in action. How are the Falcons feeling for the season?
Yeah, we're feeling really good. We lost a couple girls because of college, but yeah, got a few new people in. Yeah, we're really looking forward to the season.
No worries. Now, after game one, how did you find some of the newbies going?
Yeah, really good. We all gelled pretty well as a team, and yeah, good.
No worries. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, Rachel Tonkin makes that key defensive play, but at the end of the day, opportunistic hits for Sturt, not so much for West Torrens. Where do we leave this game, James Harris?
Yeah, well, we had two contrasting games, didn't we? We had the slugfest and the runfest in the Port Adelaide Walkerville game. Port Adelaide winning 13-3, and then we saw a couple of heavyweights just in an arm wrestle. It was 1-0 in favour of the Falcons for so much of that game, with West Torrens threatening almost every inning before it was the Falcons in the 6th inning, right at the death, able to find a way to win.
Yeah, taking your opportunities that game was about, wasn't it? We saw how many times we said 8 or 9 West Torrens people on base for one run. And Sturt did the opposite. But what a contrast in the two games.
We saw a couple of walk-off wins last year in the live stream games. You'd almost say the advantage of batting last in the Premier League is the place to be. If you're tied or even one run behind, I'm going to back the team batting second more often than not to win.
Especially in the time game.
And that was the story of this one. The Sturt Falcons, the defending premiers, walk off the challengers, the West Torrens Eagles. That will wrap up today's coverage of the doubleheader game. 13-3 win for Port earlier over Walkerville. Sturt win this one 2-1. So on behalf of all of the teams, everybody at Softball SA, James Harris, Lee Hull, David Muggleton, of course, producer Brandon. This is Eric Ballnar saying good evening. We'll see you next week.